long day here, and I'm preparing for a summit that I'm doing tomorrow. So I know you're in beautiful hands with Marie and Michelle. And Michelle, before we dive into the content today, would you like to introduce yourself to our beautiful crew here today?
Okay, so briefly, I'm Michelle Arscott, as you know, an Empower World Alumni. I'm an adult and kids life coach, and I specialise in mental wellness. I combine those factors, and I think that's it really. I think let's just crack on with the mindfulness, and then if you've got any more questions afterwards, that would be great. But I'm sure you're all raring to go. So, I mean, I could go on about what I do. I mean, I write, and I've just actually written 2 children's books, actually. So I should share that and celebrate that with you. One is on mindfulness, and one of them is connected to my work that I do. I do a lot of anti-bullying work with children. So that's something that I'm working on. And really, I'm so glad that I met Janine and Marie and got into the world of coaching, because it's really opened my world, and there's so many avenues that you can go down. I mean, you can see from the previous webinars that have been done, the way that the different coaches have gone in different directions. So it really is an awesome profession, and I'm so glad that I'm a coach. And that's it really. I think I'll just get on now with what you came for, the mindfulness.
Before you get on, Michelle, we have a request for to share the title of your books.
Okay, so they're working titles, and I will share when they're published. So I've just been working with a writing coach. So one of them is called The Boy in the Bubble, which is a book, and it's sort of encompassing mindfulness and the kind, loving meditation, which we'll talk a bit about later. And then the other one, which is a long picture book, it's about 40 pages, and it's called The Girl with the Red Cape. And it's about a girl who has issues at school and how she finds her superpower and knows how to handle it. So that's the sort of nutshell of the 2 books.
Thank you, Michelle.
Brilliant. Okay, then, so let's begin then. I'm going to share my screen, Marie. So am I also a host? Is it easy for me to share?
What I'll have to do is I'll make you host, and then when you need me to set up rooms, Michelle, you'll have to give me host back. So 1 second, I'll just find you on this list. Michelle, where are you? There you go. You are now host.
Okay, so let's share screen. Okay, can you see that screen, everybody?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right, we don't actually need it, so we'll just go into, it's fine. Okay, it was just sharing what the outcomes were. All right, so let's delve into the world of mindfulness. And this is something that I've always sort of incorporated, particularly in the work that I do with children. But since the pandemic hit us, it's something that I've really delved into, firstly, from a personal level, working on it myself, and then it then transfers into my work. So a lot of the programs I've been doing, I've been working with key workers, teachers primarily, and also I've been working with the medical profession. So I've been doing these for doctors and nurses, and next month I'm going to be working with the vets in Kenya. So in the mindfulness work that it's mental wellness, mental healthiness, because what I do is I combine coaching, I combine mindfulness, I combine cognitive behavioral therapy, positive psychology. So it's a real sort of mixture, and all these things are combined to do the mental resilience programs that I do with different people. So by the end of this session, hopefully you'll have a further understanding of what we mean by mindfulness through explanation, but most important, through experiencing it. You'll also have practical ways to deal with strategies to manage your anxiety and stress. So for you, but you can also use these with your clients, particularly, for example, in home play tasks. Also, you'll have insights into how to manage your own well-being. And by the end of the session, you'll also have some actions that you'll commit to improve your mental wellness. So that is really the overview of what we're going to be doing in this session today. So the first thing I would like you to do is I want you to just, for a moment, just take a deep breath. So when we're breathing, we breathe in through our nose and then a long exhalation out. So just do that. Always the power of 3. So breathing in and out, in and out, and in and out. And I just want you to think about, if we were talking about a scale of 1 to 10, 10 feeling very mentally positive and mentally healthy, and 1 not being, where would you put yourself on that 1 to 10 scale now? So if you've got a pen and paper, just take a note of it or write it on the screen. But where would you put yourself on that scale? So 10 feeling very mentally well and healthy and positive, and 1 being the other extreme. So if you wish, share it on the screen or just make a note for yourself, and we'll come back to that at the end of the session. And as I said, we're going to experience mindfulness today. So you'll be getting a taster of some of the things that I do on my mental resilience program. Now, one of my favorite mindfulness techniques is RAIN by Tara Brach. Has anybody, hands up, thumbs up, anybody experienced the RAIN by Tara Brach? Yeah, brilliant. It's just a brilliant one, and it's so easy. So it's something that you can take away, you can use easily, and also you can use with your clients. So I'd like to actually do that now, and it's probably my favorite one. So making sure that you're nice and comfortable where you are. And again, just centering yourself. So just breathing in and out, whatever you need to do just to be in the present moment, which is exactly what mindfulness is, being in the present moment without judgment. So whatever you need to do to just center yourself, do that now. And what I would like you to do is, if you wish, you can close your eyes. And I would like you to just experience being inside your body. And what we can begin is we can just do a body scan. So if you start from your feet and just go up through your body and just being aware of any tension that you're holding in your body. And when you identify that spot, just imagine breathing in and out into that space. And on every exhalation, you are feeling the tension leaving your body. So just going into your body and any areas of stress, just breathe in and breathe out. And on every exhalation, feel that stress loosening and leaving your body. And now I would just like you to recognize the emotions that you're feeling now. So just really being in your body and just recognizing those emotions that you're feeling and acknowledging them. So maybe you're feeling relaxed, maybe you're feeling stressed. Just recognize and acknowledge the emotions that you're feeling in your body now. And just think about where in your body are you feeling those emotions that you've identified. And if you wish, you can put a hand on where you're feeling that emotion in your body currently. And imagine now being able to go into that spot that you've identified on your body. So imagine going into that space where you feel that emotion and just investigate. What's it like in that spot? Maybe how does it look? How does that emotion look in your body? Does that emotion have any sounds? And if you were to feel that emotion, how would it feel? So really investigating what that emotion is like in your body. Emotions are a communication from our body to us. So now I want you to think about, what is that emotion telling you? What's the message that that emotion is telling you? What is it that your body needs at this time? What is it that your body's trying to tell you? What do you need at this time? What's the message? And now, just breathing in and out. And I'll count from 5 to 1. And when I get to 1, being present and back in the room. So 5, 4, 3, maybe wriggling your fingers and toes. 2, if your eyes are closed, maybe beginning to open them. And 1, being back in the room. Brilliant. So that was the RAIN exercise, which is amazing. And so it's RAIN because it's an acronym. So basically it's to recognize your emotion, acknowledge it, investigate, and nurture. So recognize your emotion, acknowledge it, investigate, and then nurture. What is it that your body is telling you? Now, I love the number that we've got in this group. So would anybody like to share with me how they found the RAIN experience? Does anybody want to share? Or you can either turn your mic off and share, or you can write in the chat. So does anybody want to share? Francesca, hi. Hi, Francesca.
Hi, nice to meet you. I do these mindfulness exercises regularly, and I was actually quite impressed by what you said about the Buddhism, because when I had a moment of anger, I went and I did this RAIN exercise, and what came up, which was quite unexpected, was episodes of Buddhism in my childhood. And I didn't know they even existed. They just, images of this came up. So I just wondered, what do you say to yourself or to the child in you when you see this?
Yeah, so it's amazing, isn't it, that it's so powerful. But I think it's thinking about, because, we believe that we've all got the answer inside us. So it's thinking about, what does that inner child need from you? So it's sort of going into that place and thinking about what does that child need from you? So a very powerful thing is to visualize yourself, your grown-up self and your younger self, and then just seeing what you feel you need to give that younger self. So that's quite a powerful exercise to do. I've done that in the past, and for me, a hug, actually, what has come to mind for me has been that adult hugging that child. Or when I've done that with other clients, you know, it might be a word of advice, like things like, it's okay. So it's really stepping in and thinking, what does that inner child need from me?
Brilliant.
And thank you so much for sharing, Francesca. Does anybody else want to share? Okay, brilliant. So very powerful exercise, really easy to do, and a great way just to get into the present moment. So now, one of the pinnacles, the pillars of wellness is gratitude. You know, this is the thing that I always, because my mental wellness journey really kicked into place when I moved to Kenya, because it was a very, very tricky move at the time. I had young children, one of them was 2, one of them was 6. We did a global move from Qatar, and, you know, a lot of you have done these moves and it's not easy. So this was when I really stepped into what are the tools that I need to do. So the very first thing I did was gratitude, and I started doing a 30-day gratitude challenge. And since the pandemic has started, again, I was like, what do I need to help me get through this? So I started a WhatsApp group, and we're now 7 months in, and every day we practice gratitude. And it's a great way to just boost yourself and give, very easy, but a great way to boost. So again, I'm going to share with you a very simple exercise, and I'll just shut the door because that's my dog, so bear with me. Right. So it's a very simple exercise which can be adjusted, but we're going to do it as a gratitude exercise, and it's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's a grounding exercise. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to just identify 5 things that you can see in the room that you are grateful for. So just do that. 5 things in the room that you're grateful for. Okay. 4 things that you are grateful for that you can touch and feel. So if you can also move if you want to, but 4 things around you in the room, and touch them, that you're grateful for. Okay. 3 things around you that you can hear that you're grateful for. Two things in the room that you can smell or you would like to smell. And the last one great thing about you. Brilliant. And you know what's lovely? I can see, and it's nice that most of you got your video cameras on. I can see the smiles on your face from doing this exercise. It's so simple, and I do it with my adults, I do it with the kids, and you don't have to do it as a gratitude exercise. It can just be, 5 things you see, 4 things, really easy. And it's also a great one for people who are having panic attacks and feel very anxious. Because as I said before, mindfulness is being in the present moment without judgment. So if you just think of the power of that, Worries and stress are about things where we're worrying about things that happened before, and we're worrying about things that happen in the future. So the beauty of mindfulness is it's like a pause as well, you know, particularly if we've got a strong inner critic and inner saboteur that's very loud. Mindfulness is just so great because it gives us that peacefulness. Yeah, does anybody want to share how they found that activity? You can either write in the comment box, or if anybody wants to comment on that activity. Okay, so very, very simple activity to do. And now what I'd like us to do, so it will entail us all turning our mics off if we can. And we're going to do a gratitude shout out. Okay, so everybody turning off their mics. I am going to time us for 1 minute, and we are simply, just get my watch, and we're simply going to shout out. Okay, so after 3, I just want you all to turn, so everybody, if you can turn your mics off, or do I have to do that?
No, everybody can
Okay.
can mute
Right.
themselves, Michelle.
Okay. So could everybody unmute themselves, please? Okay, so
unmute.
yeah,
Michelle,
everybody.
do you want us to unmute or mute ourselves?
I want you to unmute because I want everybody, I want us to all hear everybody shouting out.
Okay.
So I want to hear your voice.
Thank
So
you. You said mute, so I think
Oh,
that's
sorry. Sorry. Brilliant. So everybody turn off your thing. I'm going to count us in, and then for 1 minute, I just want you to just call out as many things as you can that you're grateful for in your life. Okay, so I'm going to count us down from 5 to 1, and we're going to go. We're going to have a gratitude Empower World Alumni shout out. Okay, so you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Laughter, joy,
Family,
health,
my kids, my husband,
love,
my house, my clients,
sunshine,
bright, my family, place to be,
laughter, running,
dragon boat,
fun,
love, friendship,
mindfulness,
my
smiling,
sofa,
coaching,
My husband,
5, stop,
walks around the
4,
compound,
3,
Ed,
2,
butter.
1,
community.
stop. You know, even though we're virtual, I can feel the energy levels have risen. Gratitude is the most simplest thing, but it's the most powerful thing. And there's so many exercises you can do around gratitude. But I thought I would just share those two because they're very easy. And it's a great way.
Could you just pause a minute, because there's a sound coming in that's disturbing us being able to hear you. I think it's coming from one of the participants, actually. Sahar, I think it's coming. Thank you. You've turned it off. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay,
we can hear you now, Michelle.
Brilliant, yeah. So I was going to say that I can feel the energy in the room. Gratitude is the simplest thing to do if you want a positive boost. So I recommend, an easy way to do it is just every day, just think of 3 things that you're grateful for. Have a gratitude buddy, together WhatsApp each other and just share what you're grateful for, or like I did, start a group. But gratitude is a really great way, especially at this time, but any time, to feel mentally good. And as you can see, I saw the smiles on you and I felt the energy, and it's a great thing to use. All right, we're going to move on now to anxiety and stress. And working with my clients and working with the different groups that I work with, anxiety and stress is always something that's prevalent, but with with Corona, it's become more so because I suppose because there's a lot of worry, and also a lot of things that we can't control. And anxiety and stress can often be heightened when we feel that we can't have that sense of control. So the first thing I would like you to do is I would like you, if you have a pen and paper, just to spend a minute just writing down all of your worries. If you don't have a pen and paper, just think about it. So just 1 minute, just writing down the worries and stresses that come to your mind. So just write those down for 1 minute. Okay, just 10 seconds left. Okay, so just finishing off your last thought or sentence. Brilliant. Okay, just have a look at that list now. And one of the useful things to do when we look at our worries is to think about what we can and what we can't control. And basically, we can control our beliefs, our actions, and our thoughts. And most other things fall outside of that spectrum of what we can control. So I want you to have a look at that list, and I want you to cross off anything that is out of your control. So have a look at your list and cross off anything that you can't control. So you can't control, for example, how your neighbours behaving in terms of their safety during the pandemic. So just cross off what you cross off what you can't control. Okay. And now have a look at what you can control. So look at the worries and stresses that you can control. And look at the worry that's speaking to you. So the worry that you can control, which is the one that's really maybe giving you the biggest stress at the moment, the most important one, the one that's talking to you. Have a look at that worry. And now just think of what is one action that you can take with that worry that you've focused on. So what's one action you can take today, tomorrow, to help you with that worry and anxiety that you've honed in on? And when that action that you've identified, when are you going to take that action? And if we had more time, we could visualize ourselves doing that action, but that's something that you can do later because I want to cover some other things. So leaving this activity with an action that you're going to take, and you've specified when you're going to take it. And obviously we could take it further in the sense of visualizing it, accountability. Those of you who are coached in the group, you'll remember this from your training and the work that you do. And what I would like to do now is this is my favorite meditation, mindfulness meditation. So I'd like to share it with you now. So we're going to go into this yummy, I love it, this yummy meditation. In fact, I've just done it. I do regular 30-day mental detoxes, and we've just done this with the group, and they found it very useful. Okay, then, brilliant. So do whatever you need to do just to get into the moment. I usually recommend taking at least 3 deep breaths, but just whatever you feel comfortable, just to focus and get ready for this mindfulness meditation. Okay, so just breathing in and out, and just taking some relaxing and cleansing breaths. And I invite you to take some deep breaths, and when you're comfortable, perhaps begin to close your eyes. Maybe you can just enjoy being still for a few moments and doing nothing but breathing deeply. Breathing deeply, however this feels comfortable for you. And just get into a gentle and slow rhythm. And now that you're breathing more deeply, you may already have begun to notice that you're more relaxed. Perhaps you can imagine now any remaining thoughts, tasks, to-dos, or nagging emotions as a river swirling and raging around you. And as you build up the picture of your thoughts and negative emotions swirling around like a raging river, you may also notice the sound of the water. Feel the damp air and become aware of the powerful surging currents around you. And as you take a moment to experience that more fully, isn't it nice to know that you can throw everything and anything else that may be bothering you right now into the water, so that it becomes part of that raging river around you? Just notice how the raging river swallows everything you throw into it until it completely disappears. Wonderful. So as you take another deep breath now, you may notice the river around you is beginning to calm, becoming slower, quieter, and more peaceful. Steadily calmer and calmer until it's beautiful, quiet, gently flowing stream now. And once it's quiet, gently flowing stream, perhaps you can imagine it getting even calmer, more peaceful, and trickling into a beautiful, quiet, still pond. Why not enjoy your beautiful, quiet, still pond for a moment, and for a few more breaths, just take in the absolute stillness, serenity, peace, and complete calm. So in the days and weeks ahead, you can use this technique at any time to still your mind, knowing that in a few simple moments, you can feel completely calm again. So I invite you now to take a breath for a moment and begin to move your attention back to the room, listening to the sounds around you, and slowly begin to open your eyes and be present once again back in the room. Brilliant. So if anybody wants to share, do you know what's lovely from it's such a good idea when Marie says about putting the screens on, but it's just lovely because the screens that are on, I can just see the smiles on the faces. I can see that some people were really deeply into that meditation. And so it's lovely feedback for me as well. So does anybody want to share how the experience was for them, or if you wish, you can share it in the chat as well. But I love that one. It's so simple, but I think it's just a really nice way of just letting go. And as someone's commented in the comments, you know, these techniques are so simple and so powerful and really, really easy to use, but just a great way just to sort of snap out of that anxiety and stress that we're feeling. Brilliant. Right, so the next thing that we're going to go on to now is so I think that we're all, I'm just reading your comments now. So lovely. Yes, so a great way to let go, and how people went from seeing that raging river to a very still pond, and just that, such a simple exercise and just that great feeling that it's given you. Yeah, I mean, I think nature is just a very powerful thing, and we can all relate to water, but water, particularly in mindfulness and meditation, is a very powerful symbol to be used. And just defining meditation, you know, it's under the umbrella of mindfulness, but it's really to just focus on something quietly, intently. So that's the most simplest form of meditation. All right, so for the final, well, the penultimate part of this, it's just thinking about, you know, what are the things that we need to ensure that we're doing to manage. I talked earlier about the fact that that one of the things I'm aware of is that we all need to manage our mental wellness. You know, we often talk about going to the gym and all these things, but we need to do similar things with mental wellness. So we need to work at our healthiness. So in terms of important aspects of that, and I'm going to write it in the chat, exercise is very important. So particularly now, I mean, obviously we're all in different countries and we're at different stages of the pandemic. I know in the UK, looks like they're going down into a second lockdown. In Kenya, our figures are going high again, so possibly we may also be going down into a second lockdown. So we're all in different stages. So it's really important that during this time especially, that we're exercising. And I always think about, you know, we can always make excuses to not to exercise. And I always think about in Italy when they were going through the first wave and they were hit badly. I always remember that there was a guy who did a marathon on his balcony. So I always think if someone can do a marathon on their balcony, we can do something. And the great thing now is it can be free. There's many things on YouTube. I'm probably Adrian's biggest fan. So Adrian, if you're not familiar with her, she's a YouTube guru. I don't even know what she's on now. I think maybe 8 million followers. I mean, I followed her before, but whenever I'm sharing tips, and I can see that Marie's nodding her head. Yeah, she's just awesome. I love her. So yoga is a very powerful thing, but everybody likes different things to keep them active. So it's really important just to find the thing that works for you. But if you are a yogi or you fancy trying yoga, then I really do recommend Adrian on YouTube. It's free and it's lovely because she has from 5 minutes to 70 minutes. She has yoga if you're stressed and anxious, yoga if you're a writer. Basically, she's got yoga for everything that you want. You know, yoga from being over full, you know, that everything. So I definitely recommend Adrian. but it, you know, it depends what is your, you know, what is the thing that makes you happy. So for me, it's running and yoga and mindfulness. So there's things I can do. So it's really important that we practice exercise. It's really important that we connect. So if we're still in our bubbles, then we can still successfully connect virtually. So it's really important that we connect with our friends, with people who may be vulnerable, but we are human beings. And even though we might be socially distancing, we're not necessarily emotionally distancing. So connection is very important. Healthy eating is also really important as well. You know, there's a strong correlation between what we eat and how that affects us. So it's really important to make sure that we've got a balanced diet and that we're eating a rainbow of foods. Gratitude is the other one that I talked about. So practicing that daily gratitude. Looking at your digital exposure, you know, so really limiting that, because it can be very overwhelming. I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, at one point, I just had to switch my phone off because there were, you know, multiple sources, people were WhatsApping. So it's really important that we control our digital exposure. And obviously that looks different for different people. It might be turning your phone off at 9 o'clock. It might be just checking the news at a certain period. But it's really important that we control what we were being exposed to and the amount of times. So what I've started doing now is I just switch my phone off at 9 o'clock. And I find that it means that I go to bed earlier, and, you know, nothing serious has happened from 9 till 9 o'clock or whatever. So really think about how you're using the digital, the screens and everything. I know we have to do things for work and whatever, but be mindful of that. Also, creativity. We're all busy, but finding an avenue to be creative. So that can be in many different ways. It can be writing, it can be drawing, it can be art. It's just making something. It can even be cooking. I really got into cooking over the pandemic. You know, it was a great way, making food for my family, also having alone time in the kitchen, but, you know, creating something. So that's really important. Also, these are sort of additional things, but I think it's very important for us. Making sure that you're living your life on purpose, making sure that you're doing things that are meaningful to you. And a lot of you are coaches, so I think you probably are living on purpose, but really thinking about what, because living on purpose, you know, I've done the research and it even links to people living longer. So it's really important to be doing things that you enjoy. And I have to say, the work that I've been doing over this time has really helped me. You know, it's given me so much joy to do it, and it's really helped me to keep positive at this time. And I'll put that as living on purpose, but dreams. There's also a lot of research that at this time and times when we are going through difficulty, have dreams and aspirations, have things that you can look forward to. You might not be able to do them now, but have things in the future that you can look forward to. You know, have that bucket list. If you've got children, if you've got a family, sit down and work out what are the things we want to do when this is over. So it's really important to have those things. And what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to draw the wheel of life. So I'm not sure if all of us are coaches. So basically draw a circle and divide it into 8 segments. So 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. So draw a circle and divide it into 8 segments. And this is our wheel of wellness. So those areas that I've written down, you can change them if you want to, but they are the wellness things that will help us to feel good. So I want you create your wheel, 8 segments in your wheel, and each of those aspects that I've typed in the chat room, so exercise, connecting, eating. So maybe you want to abbreviate it, but write it into those 8 segments, or you can draw a picture to represent it.
I may have missed that, but I can't see it in the chat box. Does everybody else? No, we can't see that.
Have you got it? Have you got it? You've got it now?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So, yeah. So just draw your wheel of wellness with 8 segments, 4 in each half, and then just write in shorthand or draw a picture or write those words that represents each of those segments. And also you can substitute it with other things if you feel those are important for your wellness. So exercise, connecting, healthy eating, gratitude, digital exposure, creativity, and then it's up to you if you want to call it living on purpose or dreams or aspirations. And those of you familiar with the Wheel of Life, you know that the center of the circle is the naught and the outer edge is 10. So what I would like you to do now is look at each of those areas and just give yourself, you can either give yourself a score or you can draw. Is everybody familiar with the wheel of everybody familiar? Okay, that's fine then, so you know what I'm talking about. So basically, give yourself a score between 0 to 10 in each of those segments. Or you can draw the line if you want to, which however you want to. And just have a look at that wheel of wellness that you have drawn. Okay, and now just having a look at that wheel. Any surprises there for you? So just have a look at it. Anything that you didn't realize? Because that's the power of this, you know, it's having that picture in front of you that can help to raise our awareness. And maybe just identify one of those segments. Does anybody want to share? Anybody? You can share again. If you want to share on the chat, any surprises or any revelations from looking at that. All right. So now just have a look at one of those segments that you feel is important to you, that you would like to work on for your mental well-being. And I see that someone said not enough exercise and connecting. Yeah, so have a look at that area. And obviously, if you had time, you all know the Wheel of Life and how it works, but you could visualize what a 10 would look like for you. And then, but the important thing now is I want you to just think about what's one thing, 1 to 2 things that you are going to do today, tomorrow, this week, to higher that, to make that number higher for your mental well-being. And Salma said there, not a surprise overload on digital exposure. Yeah, I mean, this is a time now where we're very virtual, so it's managing those, you know, not trying not to plan back-to-back meetings, stretching in between sessions, and having detoxes. I had a great detox from, I think, from Saturday evening to Sunday to Monday, and it was wonderful. So just, you know, are there times at the weekend that you can detox? Could it be a whole day, an hour? So anyway, I just want you to think about what's one action that you are going to take to make that number higher in terms of your mental wellness. And for me, if I'd done the thing, I know because I've been working on it, but for me, definitely stepping back into the fitness. I find that my fitness throughout my life is up and down, up and down, up and down. But for me, I want to get back on with the fitness. So that's going to be a priority. And the promise that I've made to myself is that I'm going to run at least twice a week for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Would anybody like to share what action they have committed to? Because if you say it here as well, also there's that accountability because you said it to the group. So what action? Who's going to be brave and share the action that they're going to take for their mental well-being? Who's going to share? Anyone? Or saying no to clients? Great. Yes. Karina. Oh, hi, Karina. How are you? Lovely to see you, by the way. I can't hear you though. Can't hear. You're on mute.
No sound. She's not on mute, but we can't hear her, fortunately. Just while she's getting that organised, Heidi May says she'll switch off her phone and minimise WhatsApp chats. Saying no to clients, says Salma. Rania had started off with daily walks. It's dropped off, and Pauline is going to be more consistent with her yoga. Sandra says she'll switch her phone off. Francesca will start jogging again. Sharina says she'll turn her phone after 9 p.m. Michelle. Peter says he's going to, I'm guessing, do yoga and Pilates, Peter.
That's fantastic. Brilliant.
Running again, says Karina.
Running, yeah, I'm with you there.
On here, Karina.
Sorry, we can't hear you, Green. Brilliant. And now your coaches, so you know now you need to really get in there and make those goals smart. So, you know, when are you going to start jogging? How is that going to look? Visualize it. Do you need an accountability partner? All those things that are going to make those goals better. Because you all know that when you do these things, you're going to feel great. On Saturday, I had committed to a run about I thought I had to do it, and honestly it was really hard for me to do, but I did it and I felt wonderful. And so that's a great kickstart. So we all know that it's not easy, but the hardest thing is to start. All right, so so get going, guys. This is for your mental wellness. You know that it's good for you, but not only for you, it's also good for the people who are around you as well. It's that knock-on effect. You feel good, and then everybody else has that knock-on effect. All right, we're just going to end now with a gratitude breath. I love this one, and I do it with my kids, with my kid clients, but I also do it with my adults as well. A lot of these things, they can cross over. So we're just going to finish this with a lovely, loving gratitude breath. So again, if you just want to take your 3 deep breaths and just get into the moment. So taking your 3 cleansing deep breaths and closing your eyes if you wish. And I just want you to focus on somebody that you're really grateful for in your life. So focus on that person and just imagine them, how they look, and the wonderful things that you love and like about them. And just thinking of that person that you're grateful for. And now, breathing in, and when you breathe out, imagine blowing to them love. So breathing in and blowing out love to that person. And breathing in and blowing out love to that person. And breathing in and blowing out love to that person. And imagine that loving breath touching them. And just see that smile on that person's face that you are very grateful for. And feel that love and that smile and warmth coming back to you and just bathing you as you feel that gratitude breath. And breathing in and out, and in and out. And when you're ready, coming back to the room and being back in this present moment. Again, very, very simple. And I hope that you like that. I love it with the kids. Imagine them blowing and getting them to really blow it to their whoever they think of. The 2-year-olds even. It's very fun. Okay, so we've come to the end of the webinar now. So what I would like you to do is check in again. How are you feeling now? So on that mental wellness scale that we talked about at the beginning, 10 was feeling very positive, mentally well and mentally healthy, and 1 wasn't. So just thinking about where are you now on that continuum? And if you wish to share, you can. Fantastic. So very simple exercises, and already I can see that our spirits have been lifted and we're feeling very positive. So I'd like to thank you for experiencing and doing that with me. And it's lovely to see all your smiles. And I think now it's time for comments and any questions and answers. So thank you very much.
Well, before we do that, coaches, I think maybe we could all take a deep breath and blow out a gratitude of love to Michelle for this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's lovely. See, and already I'm smiling, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Michelle. That was absolutely beautiful and just what the doctor ordered. And I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's open it up to chat, to questions. Please open your mics. Yes, Peter.
I would like to ask something, Michelle. I find something that you're wearing on you contradicting from my point of view. Maybe I'm wrong. I remember one of the worst experiences in my life was when I bought a smart watch. And I felt like it was infuriating me, and I paid a lot of money to purchase it. It had everything there, and the moment everything started buzzing and sending me messages, I was like, oh my God, I just need to get rid of this thing. And I remember after it lasted 1 month in my hand, and then I just sold it to a friend. I said, take it, I don't even want to see this thing again. How do you cope with this? This is my question.
Well, yes, I mean, I see what you mean. I was wondering what you were going to say in terms of what the contradictory thing was.
No.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, the thing is, you can manage it in terms of turning off the notifications, and, you can do all these things as well.
But then it's not a smart watch.
It's an unsmart. It's not a smart.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do actually just not put it on. I mean, the reason why I love this watch, because for many years I was like, I don't want one. And then my husband got one and I loved it. But what I love it for is the fitness. So it's really good for my fitness because, I run and whatever. So it's great for that. So at times, actually, like at the weekend, sometimes I just take it off because I don't want to be measuring anything. I don't care if I didn't achieve my goals because, it's about a balance. But as I said, sometimes I also minimalize it and don't wear it. But it is very useful for my running and my yoga and making sure that I stand regularly, that I move, that I exercise. And also I breathe. There's even meditation apps. So every so often my phone vibrates. I'm like, what's that? And it tells me to breathe. So you can even bring mindfulness into the smart world.
Okay. What about your coaching? Does it help you with your appointments?
Yes, exactly. Because also you can do reminders. I mean, it's just like almost like a phone on your hand. So it's just there. But the biggest gift that this has given me is I'm always losing my phone. So I can just buzz it and it buzzes my phone. So it saves me a lot of time. Thank you, Peter. Anybody else questions or would like to share anything? Oh yeah, I'm still.
Sorry, I couldn't find my mute, my microphone. So I found in time that the mindfulness exercise works very, very well when you have emotions, sudden emotions, because the point is, if you have a general state of let's say anxiety, you said, that's possibly something that you're aware of. But when you have a general state of high well-being, and sometimes you get some feelings which you don't know where they're coming from. It is very useful in my experience, and I've done this mindfulness for years, to stay with the feeling. And so don't try to get rid of the feeling immediately if you can, and just do the mindfulness exercise. The rain exercise is very good, because if you're with the feeling and you do the mindfulness, it's almost like you do coaching to yourself. You don't need anybody else there. If it's a manageable, of course, if it's a manageable like state, you know, if you have a panic attack, you might, you know, but also with panic attacks, there's training that you can do for when you get those. But I found them amazing, and things come to the surface in a very short time when you train the mind to go into a safe space, because that's what it is. It's basically going into a safe space for yourself, and it's safe because you're with yourself, you know, you're completely alone, and you get information. Then what you do with that information, I don't know yet. So but it's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's really powerful. And the great thing now is the great thing about mindfulness is you can see, you experienced it, so you know how it's made you feel. But also research is clearly indicating how powerful this is. And more now you are seeing mindfulness going into the mainstream. You know, doctors, we go onto the NHS website in the UK, mindfulness is, you know, it's kind of here to stay because people realize how powerful it is. And I'd say a very simple thing to do, because there's formal mindfulness and there's informal mindfulness. So the stuff that I've done today is informal, but it's also very important to do formal mindfulness. So I recently did a teaching children's mindfulness course. So what we had to do as part of the 8-week course was every day for 5 minutes, twice a day, we just had to, you know, go into your space and just breathe for 5 minutes. And at first it is difficult because your mind pings everywhere. But what you do when your mind pings off, you just acknowledge it. You know, maybe it's like, oh, I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat after this. So you just acknowledge it, and then you come back to the breath. And it's such a powerful exercise, and it builds up that mindfulness tool. So a gift to you is, if you can, try it, even for a week, just try it. But twice a day, in the morning and the evening, for 5 minutes, just breathing in and out and trying to imagine the breath coming in and out. And if your mind wanders, just acknowledge it and bring it back, and just try that for a week and see how it makes you feel. It's very powerful. And maybe you start even at 3 minutes, but it's a really powerful exercise, and you're building up that mindfulness. And you can really go, because mindfulness is about going through different states of consciousness. So if you build that up, you can really go deep in terms of into your, you know, deeper layers of going into your being. So I recommend that exercise. And thank you very much for sharing, Francisca.
I think what you're doing is so important for children. It's very commendable. I know friends of mine who have children, and they're experiencing during the teenage years so much unmanaged emotions. And I think the future is actually to give these tools to children to be better persons. It's amazing. It's really important.
Yeah, because the sort of the difference, the sort of the bigger difference between the adult and the life coaching is, with the children, you really are giving them tools. I mean, obviously you give clients tools in home play and whatever, but the biggest difference is the fact that with the children, you are equipping them with tools. So that mindfulness is so powerful for them. And I've had children who, you know, potentially have got ADHD, are very sort of manic, and younger ones, 5, 6, and then their parents are saying, wow, they really responded to that meditation. You've just got to, everyone can respond to meditation and mindfulness. It's just about finding the right thing that works for them. But as you said, it is so powerful and just so effective. Even I've been into nurseries and as I've said, work with 2-year-olds, and one parent said to me, no, one of the teachers said, oh, you know, he was having a bad day. And he responded so well, just short, to that exercise. And they really noticed the difference. And that was one session. So it really is one of the most important things of our time, mindfulness, you know.
Thank you everyone for your fabulous questions, and most gratitude goes to the fabulous Michelle, your energy, your voice, your presence, the way you gently and yet firmly took us through that process, Michelle. It shows great skill and a real attention to detail that I'm speaking for everybody here, that we all have really benefited from. I know my day and my week ahead is going to be even more empowered because of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm feeling a bit, you know, yeah, that was like sent up, you know, but thank you so much. And I really appreciated doing it with you. And I hope that you're going to take some tools to use with yourselves, your family, your friends, because it's so important. And it was a real pleasure. And thank you, Marie, for inviting me to do this session. I really enjoyed it. So thank you.
Absolutely, our pleasure. And I know Janine couldn't stay, and she'll be very upset that she missed this, and hopefully she'll watch the recording. Before we go, I'd love to capture a photo so that we can share Michelle's beautiful workshop on social media. So if you want to be in the photo, please put your put your screen on so that I can capture it. We've got 19 participants who are remaining, and 9 on the screen. So I'll give you a little bit of time if you do want to put your cameras on. Thank you, Saha. Thank you, Salma. Lovely to see you. Okay, so let's take a photo. I remember how to do this. Okay, our count is in to make our beautiful smiles of gratitude fill the world. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. So Michelle will write up a little bit of a post about this beautiful workshop. We'll share that picture on screen, and we look forward to this because our alumni are amazing. And I think it's shown also how you can take coaching, the skills of coaching, and make it your own and make programs out of it. So you haven't just given us experience, Michelle, you've allowed somebody to recognize how you can move out from just the simple one-to-one coaching field and move into group coaching, or also another experience, but using coaching skills to do that. It's been incredibly valuable. We've got so many thank yous. This was an amazing experience. So many learnings. Heartfelt thanks, Michelle, for sharing your knowledge and expertise. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle and Marie, for this great session. I feel so good now. Extremely powerful and simple techniques. Thank you. Such a wonderful, relaxing session. You're a beautiful, inspirational being. Grateful to have the opportunity for you to be here today. Thank you for your ideas and sharing your time. Whoa, that's amazing.
Wow, thank you. I'm just like, wow.
And look what happens when we give this, the power of gratitude to others. It's empowering, and it empowers me as I hear that gratitude for you. Thank you for this powerful webinar. It gave me the great boost to continue the day. I feel a lot of great gratitude and presence. Michelle, thank you for your generosity. Michelle, it was wonderful. Thank you again, Michelle. Thank you. It was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.